Julie, could you please call roll call?
Sure. Heather Logan.
Present.
Rob Toyer.
Here.
Michelle Blythe.
Here.
Leisha Novak.
Here.
Deborah Nelson.
Here.
Yvonne Gallardo.
Here.
Jen Schweddy is excused.
Mayor Vanny, I move for approval of the agenda.
Second. Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll start off tonight's meeting with a proclamation for the Ride Transit Month. Whereas mobility is a human right and public transit is an essential aspect in meeting this right and keeping Snohomish County's people, communities, and economies moving. And whereas the transit system in Snohomish County is vast and varied to meet the diverse needs of the region and includes local and commuter buses, paratransit services, van pools, innovative services, and more. And whereas public transit is a lifeline for many in our county, particularly for people with disabilities, seniors, people with low incomes, and essential workers as it connects them to jobs, medical care, food, essential goods, families, and communities. And whereas transit is an economically healthy and environmentally sound transportation mode that can be used to access local destinations, workplaces, businesses, and regional landmarks. And whereas community transit continues to work closely with local jurisdictions, city planners, and staff to incorporate local growth patterns into future transit planning. And whereas the Washington State Legislature passed the transformational Move Ahead Washington Transportation Package in March of 2022, which will make our state's transportation system safer, more convenient, and more accessible for transit riders. And whereas all people 18 and under can ride transit for free, and whereas regional transit agencies and transportation advocacy organizations are promoting June as Ride Transit Month to encourage alternatives to driving. Now therefore, I, Don Vanny, Mayor of Arlington, do hereby proclaim the month of June as Ride Transit Month in the city of Arlington and encourage residents to observe Ride Transit Month with appropriate events and activities to promote public transportation. Okay. At this time, I'd like to open it up for any of the public that would like to make a comment. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like? Okay, none seen, then we'll move on.
Move for approval of the consent agenda as noted.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to our new business. First item, ordinance approving commute trip reduction plan. Sarah Obis.
Good evening, Mayor Vanny and members of City Council. So tonight I'm requesting an update to the existing Arlington Municipal Code regarding the commute trip reduction. We also would like to adopt a new commute trip reduction plan for 2025 through 2029 and approve the interlocal agreement with Community Transit to administer the CTR plan and programs. Under Washington state law, it's required for certain jurisdictions to have a CTR plan. And it applies to work sites with over 100 full-time employees who begin their shifts between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. on weekdays. And we do have several of those businesses, including Amazon, City of Arlington, Senior Operations, and Skagit Regional Health. I'm open to any questions.
Any questions? None seen? Thank you.
Would you like me to make the motion for Jan?
Sure.
Okay. I move to approve the ordinance revising Arlington Municipal Code 10.80 and approve the commute trip reduction plan and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance and the interlocal agreement.
Second. Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to item number 2, the 2025 decision of Citizens Salary Review Commission. Sean, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I had the privilege of meeting with the Citizen Salary Review Commission. They have brought forth a decision for the 2026 and for 2027 for the mayor's salary and for council members' salaries. There was a lot of good conversation, looked at data, they asked and requested data, and we had a really productive collaborative meeting, so it was just really a privilege to work with this team. So I bring forward their decisions.
Any questions? None seen? We have a motion? Oh, we don't. That's right, we don't. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, no, that's right. Okay. We'll move on to item number 3, the amendment number 2 to Legacy Anthropology Contract for 211th Place Archaeological Oversight. Jim Kelly.
Thank you very much, Mayor Vanny and council members. This item before you is an amendment to the contract with Legacy Anthropology, amendment number 2. Amendment number 1 was a time extension. It was a no dollar amendment, no cost amendment. This one is this change is in the amount of $71,020. The reason for this cost estimate is due to the amount of artifacts that were discovered on the project site. It we had no idea that there was going to be this many. We put in 3 pits to excavate and curate artifacts that we did recover, but when we were putting in the trench lines, it was just a plethora of artifacts that came back. I still do not know. I know it's over 500 artifacts were discovered. I don't know the true number yet.
Any questions? Jim or Deborah?
Just curious, Jim, will those artifacts be listed anywhere or on display for local people to appreciate the history of this area?
Yes, they will. Through an agreement with the Still-Guamish Tribe of Indians, they will be curated over at the Still-Guamish Tribe's Cultural Resource Center.
Thank you.
No other questions? Okay. Have a motion?
I move to approve amendment number 2 to the Legacy Anthropology Contract for the 211th Place Corridor Archaeological Oversight and authorize the mayor to sign the amendment.
Second?
Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we'll move on to our 4th item. Ordinance approving the York Park rezone. Amy.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Vanny and members of council. So tonight I have before you the York Park rezone, and this was discussed at last week's workshop, but just to give a recap, it changes the zoning on the eastern parcel of the current York Park from residential moderate capacity to public, semi-public for the use of a future park, which I've been told will be developed as a dog park.
Any
I'm
questions?
here for any questions.
None?
I said it last week, but I'm going to say it again, just in case people didn't hear it. I'm super excited about a dog park, so thank you, Parks, for doing that, and Amy. So
You can thank Sarah.
Thank you, I was going to. Thank you, Sarah.
Park Commission.
And who's on Parks? Heather, Steve, Randy, Jan. Oh my gosh, they're all here. Thank you.
Okay. No other comments? Questions? Okay, I have a motion?
I move to approve the York Park rezone and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance.
Second.
Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to our next item, ordinance referencing Fur Lane rezone. Again, Amy.
All right, thank you. So this is the Fur Lane rezone, and this is a privately initiated rezone. It's considered a non-project action to rezone approximately 8.77 acres for the total of 4 parcels from the residential low capacity to the residential moderate capacity. Like I said, we discussed everything last week. I don't know if you have additional questions for me. I can definitely go over different zoning or density items that you need clarification on.
Do we have any questions?
I just have
Oh,
a statement.
Deborah?
but Go ahead if you have a question.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. So last week you said that the individual that was petitioning to do this didn't have any firm plans submitted. So they can always come back with those plans that really commit to what they're doing with that property, right? If
Yeah, they could rezone again. Yeah, they could try for a rezone again.
They can come back and
Yep.
whenever they're ready to, because I think the plan was to build a single-family home or something. So non-committal, but that was kind
Yeah,
of the
so
talk.
if,
Okay.
it gets kind of tricky. So our zoning is a minimum maximum. So right now, under the current zoning, building one home on there does not meet our minimum density. And then adding it one home also still increases and increases over the limit that they're already over. So we have a 49 lot/unit limit on a one axis, and they're at 108, I believe I had in the staff report. So adding one unit would put it at 109. So they really can't do either one. Like one single-family home isn't going to meet our regulations for access and for density. And then likewise with the rezone, if it was to be rezoned, then they would have to do major improvements to add different more units onto the property. So there's still more things that have to get done, even if they were to add one, it's still against, it doesn't
Right.
still meet the regulations.
Right.
But they can definitely come back and rezone in the future. I do believe if there is a denial, they have to wait at least, well, they could probably put on the next docket. So it has to go on to the next year, which would be the next year.
Could they remove the home that's there right now and build in place of?
Yes, we would do a
Without
one-for-one.
rezoning
Yep.
anything then, right?
We
That's
would
what
allow
that's-
them, we just don't
okay.
want it to go any more than the 108
Yeah, yeah.
that are there. But yes,
Okay.
if they wanted to demo and build one, we would just do a replacement for that
Okay,
with a building permit.
yeah, thank you.
Deborah?
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to the Planning Commission. I so appreciate the recommendations with each of the items that come through, and I've always looked to those. And I have to say lately, the Planning Commission has delivered excellent recommendations, so thank you very much.
No other scene? Okay, do we have a motion?
So based on the information the group has gotten from CED and following the recommendation of the Planning Commission, I move to deny the Fur Lane rezone request.
Second.
Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Amy. Okay, we'll move on to our next item. Ordinance amending Arlington Municipal Code, Chapter 20.32. Again, Amy.
Thank you. So this code amendment is for a section in the nonconforming situations chapter of the Arlington Municipal Code. And this is to allow for interim commercial only uses from 174th Street South. I do apologize, there was a typo on your overview summary. It was not supposed to be 173rd. The ordinance does say 174th, though. And this is so change of uses within existing commercial businesses do not have to go to the commercial corridor and mixed-use portion of the code and meet that residential. It's just allowing new commercial uses to keep existing commercial spots from not going vacant. It's a quick summary.
Have any questions? Okay, none seen?
Okay. I move to approve the ordinance amending AMC Chapter 20.32 and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance.
Second.
Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those, any opposed? None heard? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, ordinance amending Arlington Municipal Code, Chapter 20.60. Amy.
Thank you very much. So with this code amendment, we added some new language revolving around the utility transformer boxes. So this is mainly in the commercial corridor and mixed-use overlay zones, which would require projects with above-ground utility transformer boxes to be designed with a wrap to keep the aesthetics pleasing from the public right-of-way. And then we also did a update to language section just clarifying the voltage of the transmission lines. It's been incorrect for years, so just getting it to the correct voltage.
Any questions? None seen?
Glad to see that.
I move to approve the ordinance amending AMC Chapter 20.60 and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance.
Second?
Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to our next item. Ordinance amending Arlington Municipal Code, Chapter 20.96. Amy.
Thank you very much. This code amendment, I redid the table of contents with breaking it out into Part 1 through 6 to hopefully make it easier to, for everyone to understand how zoning map amendments happen, the docketing procedures, comp plan amendments, and then we added a new section for the comprehensive plan periodic update. So during our comp plan review of 2024, Department of Commerce mentioned that we didn't have a procedure for our periodic update. So that Part 6 was added. And then I made a change to our docketing. So to change the docketing from January of each year to August of each year. And then I'm here for any questions on the docketing, if you have any.
Questions on that? Okay, I think we had pretty good discussion last week on all of these. Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the ordinance amending AMC Chapter 20.96 and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance.
Second.
Question?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion carries. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you very much for all your time and effort looking into all these code amendments. I appreciate it.
Okay, do we have any comments or reports from council members? Heather?
I was waiting for your hand to go up.
Communications did a great job of already pushing this out, thank you. But the Board of Health is looking for a user of public health services board member. Come serve with me. It's very, very interesting work. If you're interested, people on camera, you can call 425-339-8652.
Michelle?
I attended Stille Valley, their senior center. They had a big event with different vendors, and it's always really interesting with all the people that pass by and chat with you. So that was a lot of fun. So it was a good time.
Any others?
Vaughn?
Yvonne? No? No? Okay. Paul, do you have anything for tonight?
Nothing else this evening, just thank you, council. I know this was a heavy meeting cycle, a lot of reading and stuff, so I appreciate the extra time that everyone had to put in.
No, the only thing I got, it was exciting this weekend to see town filled up again with a lot of people down at the car show and the farmers market. And from what I saw, most of the stores had people going in and out of them all day long. So yeah, it was nice to see that. That's all I had. So do we have nothing else? So,
Are we done?
yep.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? None heard. Motion carries. We're adjourned.